Put my mixing water in my top right. Okay. All right. Welcome back to the stations. We're gonna do a reenaction today. Uh, One of my favorite YouTubers is complicated, and basically just gonna show how the modern world today of how women are basically viewing the way how women move and operate, how they pursue, how they what they think of men. It's just the discomfort of humans relationships. It's not functioning in the most positive way, and it's it's getting crazy. I personally, I view things in a naturalistic way. As if you have followed my channel a lot, you guys know I speak on a natural structure for humans. Like, as we all have a standard to live on this earth. Yes, we have strayed away from that for so far and so far apart, but whether we live in the jungle or we live in the concrete jungle, there's still a structure. There's still a standard of how humans are supposed to behave and live. Humans are all the same. We are all the same capabilities. It's just different time, different times, different behaviors, different emotions, or at different times, but it's all the same. I hope you guys understand what I mean when they said. So we're gonna do reenaction today. It's complicated, and see how modern women understand life today. All right. Remember, I view natural. So like, subscribe. Let me know how you guys feel, and let's carry on with the action.
This channel is viewer supported. If you find value in my work, please consider making a modest donation using the pay links in the bio.
Alright. I haven't done any edit or anything like that, so straight.
Your most recent
live.
love interest, what was the one thing they did that first sparked your attraction?
My current boyfriend, he's just sexy, and I saw him and I wanted to eat him up.
Women often are attracted to confident men. Have the most confident men ultimately met your expectations?
My current one, yes, but other ones, absolutely not. All disappointed me.
If not, why are women so fixated on a confident man?
Because who wants a shy man? I feel like I am very outgoing. I don't want someone who's timid.
Why are men expected to be confident by women who seem so insecure?
That's a great question.
It's just what generates attraction initially, because it's like I think it's just an instinct that women have, like feminine energy looking for that masculine energy.
I am honestly not quite sure
Alright,
why
so I'm gonna
women.
pause it there. So from what we got here, the women today are very shallow. They don't really have an understanding of themselves, much less what men are, much less what their capabilities and function are. We For some reason, we think in 2025, for some reason, majority of the population think that we are beyond the capacity of what a human is. We are beyond the understanding what a human is. Like, it's very basic. It's really not that hard. Our emotions are to be controlled, right? You have to learn that, right? It's just like if you fell down and you feel pain, based on how you feel or the fact that you fell, whether you feel sad, angry, or whatever, the goal is to control those emotions and know that at this moment in time, the pain is gonna go away. And secondly, if sometimes you trip by not paying attention, or it could be, you know, an accident, you have to control your emotions to operate those feelings, to not take that personal. Because it's like if you trip and you stump your toe, you get angry. You're not gonna be angry all day, and then to everybody you talk to, you're mad because you trip your toe. No, you gotta understand that you trip your toe due to your fault or just not paying attention. and other people have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So emotions are meant to be controlled. The other thing is this: the shallow part about it is that women are just so the nurturing of this thing is. Don't get me wrong, nurturing is part of development for humans because you got to nurture your children and raise them in the confinement of a naturalistic perspective. But when you nurture them in a sense of taking advantage or being ununderstanding or uneducational of who they are, what they are, not having the natural things as instinctual, right, and common sense, you're gonna lose sight of who you are as a female or male. And the questions on what he was talking about in terms of women seeking out, attractive, strong men, da 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 da. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of that is a natural thing. It's natural for a woman to want a man that's strong and not too big but big. Basically just being strong, have a representation of a strong, energetic, fierce type of personality, and that sends a signal to the female that he's protective, right? Um, and in the sense of protective, it means that it opens the door for her safety to move around and do things without feeling like she's being attacked, right? Or she's less, um, she have less opportunities or less restrictions to her ability to live and strive and survive in the world. But into today's time, the progress, I mean, I know people, we have a lot of Christians out there. To me, I think Christianity have set this tone where, and not just the Christianity, but when they brought in the whole one man for a woman type shit, practicing it, they're practicing it. Which means eliminating the whole polygamy thing. And I'm not saying due to the whole one man thing, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen without the Bible. It was happening. It just wasn't enforced, right? It was a decision to be made, right? But in 2025, that concept have manipulated and coerced or nurtured women into this ability to think that they have control or desires for being in a single, men reaching out to them in a sense of like as if they're their superior, as if they're their prize, or as if they're the purpose of the man's life or career. Um, it's not. It's not. That's not really how it's supposed to be. That's not this sense of natural woman's behavior. The men, the woman, like I said, growing up, the men and the woman are supposed to have different, separate lives. Not saying that they'll come together at some points, whether it's dinner, sleep, or stuff like that, or probably, going to school. But most cases, they have their separate agendas, right? And once the man and the woman comes together, or they reach the age where they're supposed to bond with each other, that's when they actually fit. And the desire for each other going to be more greater than the two females are raised. Because when the man and the woman was raised together, it kind of changes the dynamic of the desire for each other a little bit. And then again, women tend to mimic what the man that she's with. So, this, so therefore, a masculine man today, in the nurturing forceful way of saying that women should look for these type of men, versus the woman naturally seeking out these men. Like some people say that it's a natural thing. I don't think it's a natural. When it's a natural, I don't think it's a. In today's time, two women don't see masculine error as a natural thing. It's more of an attractive thing. Like, I'm gonna do what I was told to do. Like every woman doing the same thing, so she's following the other women doing it, but it's not. She's not doing it organically. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be a guy who might not look all musculated and stuff, or he might not have some confidence or whatever, but yet he still approach her and move and pursue her in a more harmonious way. He doesn't have to be aggressive, but due to the nurturing and the how should I say, the social norm of, well, he have to act this way, he have to have this charisma, da 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 da. Majority of the women tend to seek out for the same thing. They always, it's like, I want that, I want that. You know what I mean? They all like yellow. You know, they all want the good thing, the thing that attracts most of the females, right? And I think that's the problem. If I said that correctly, that's the issue right there. Women attractiveness is not organic. It's forced, right? It's influenced by the norm of the social gathering that's presently today. Because the whole stigma is, every woman want, or had to admire for a guy to look this way. He approach him with confidence and all that stuff. But does every man have to have that same ability and still not get the job done, right? He still can draw the woman attention, and even though she likes him, she's still gonna say, well, I like this guy better because all the other females like this guy, and they agree that this guy have a better approach on situations and more stamina, and that ability to just draw the energy of a female versus the other guy. But the other guy is actually more pleasant than the guy over here, because the dude who's masculine and strong and stuff, yeah, he might not be a good relationship factor. He know his power. He know what he have because he absorbed it so many times, and he works. So he's taking advantage of it. Versus the guy who's just being a regular guy. He might not have the same aura as this guy, but he still draws attention. She still find him attractive, but he's just not that spark. But he's just as good. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're gonna move on. In this era, women are just too peaky. They're too follow-some. They follow each other, and that can lead them down a bad path.
Are so into a confident man. I personally think that it has always come with narcissism and a lot of other issues like that. I think we find security in that.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean?
I think since, as a woman who is insecure, I think I feel more secure with a confident man.
Why are there...
See, that's another thing too. Women, I mean, they use the word insecure, but and they seek out these specific, but those same guys get chastised for being, I guess, too ruleful, right? Because they're gonna set directions, they're gonna make decisions, they're gonna put orders, and give directions. But yet, that same man attracts her, but she don't want the stuff. She don't want the rulership that comes with it. The insecure thing is, women are timid towards men, right? That's really what they mean by insecure, right? So the fact that women are more timid, to something that's stronger, they're gonna, it's almost more like they're looking for something to express that's opposite side of them. So that's what that insecure purpose is, which is normal because that's how we're supposed to be. The woman natural desire of her weakness is to find a man that's more braver and stronger, and that's the normal of it, and that's women should accept. Women should embrace that behavior or those attributes as a positive versus a negative. And then again, when they do find a man that's have that error and he set things in stone, she should be able to stand by those things and be like, this is what it feels like, because now you're now getting those protection, and that covering of your insecurity, as she said, the way she wants to, the way she, make her feel. But let's keep going.
Women who know they're pretty, know they can get men. Why are they insecure? What are they insecure about?
I think social media plays a huge role into that.
See, I said
As
that already.
someone who is constantly scrolling, I see fake pictures online, and
See, I was right. Social media, the social norm, it pushes this negative of taking away the organic feeling of how a woman should desire a man. It takes in that away. It's putting it's putting icing with strawberries and all these extra different flavors on the top when you don't need them. You just need the pure, leveled ice cream. You don't need nothing on top of it. It is what it is. Well, like she said, the social media adding all that extra shit in, and then what women do, they feed into that, and then they all feel like they want the same thing. You know what I mean? It's almost like when they say when women in the same room or they're living in the same house for a long period of time, their period in sync. So it's almost like that's what happens, right? But in social media, it's more of like a nurturing, brainwashing type of thing. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I was right. I said that not too long ago. They're not moving organically.
I think that plays a big role into it.
Do you believe that less attractive people tend to have more meaningful relationships?
Absolutely, because I think they find personality more attractive than the looks itself.
So if you want to have more meaningful relationships, why would you want to be attractive?
I don't know, personally, when I look for a man, I don't look for attraction. I look at the person.
Lies. Social media, the general norm today is if the guy is cute and he have money, if he's cute, or if he have money and he's cute, so let me say correctly. If he have money, the cuteness is a plus. If he's cute and he have money, the money is a plus. You know what I'm saying? That's how they view it. That's how female view it today. She would not, this same female that she's talking all of that crap, she will not see a guy who's mediocre 4 or 5 and say, he have a nice heart, he's a gentleman, this, that, and the third. One gotta give. She either gonna mess with him because he have money, or she gonna mess with him because he cute. You know what I'm saying? So if he's cute and he ain't got no money, he got a chance. But if he have money, but he's not cute, he got a chance. But if he have money, but if he's not cute and he don't have money, he ain't got nothing. She not gonna pay attention to that dude. If a dude was to walk up to her now in a regular state of mind, he got a really good job or maybe no job, she's not paying no attention to this dude. Now if he cute and he don't have a job, he might get a chance. You know what I'm saying? So that's she's not being honest right there. She's not being honest at all.
Personality, the heart, and all that good stuff.
Does a woman's level of physical attractiveness affect her behavior and potential for status?
Oh, you're gonna get me canceled. Yes, 100%. I feel as if most, not all, but most beautiful women use it and take advantage of other people. I used to do so I can say that. I'm retired.
I feel that it's easier for attractive women to get higher status, but they can also become very shallow, and ultimately it will be their downfall because all they're relying on is their looks.
Is the pressure greater on men to be successful or on women to be beautiful?
I feel like a man should always be successful. I think that many women in this world are beautiful, but at the same token, we should be able to rely on our partners. So I definitely would feel like probably more pressure on a man, probably.
Are men typically born with the muscles, money, and status that attract most women?
No, those are all things that like need to be acquired and worked towards. You're never just like born perfect. You have to work for your achievements and your success.
So wouldn't the pressure be greater for men?
Facts.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
I would say the pressure is great.
See, that's another thing too. Why women can't honestly admit to their bullying towards men, like what he just said. Like he asked her, if men have to go harder to achieve the things, and then to also to impress a woman, not to mention that's a nurturing thing. Why do you always push this energy that as if like it's harder for women to succeed and to achieve the things, and as well as being with a man, when we already know that women, it's way 10 times easier for a woman to get seduced, to get picked by a man versus a man getting picked by a woman, or better yet, the man pursuing the woman. So if we know the truth, because she did answer the question, she did say women are more easier to succeed when it comes to relationships or anything like that, being desired or being picked. But when it comes to a man, he have to work hard to get what he need, or he have to elevate himself, because women are born with their value, and men have to gain their value. So the fact that he put her in the trap and then asked her why you would put the pressure on the man when the man have to work harder to get the woman versus the woman get the man. Why not just basically submit to the man and just do what you're supposed to do as a female and make it easier? And she was, as women normally do, they don't want to give up their power and their rights. So she's gonna reject it. You know what I mean? She's not gonna be like she. I like the fact I can control men. I like the fact that I can make them do what I want them to do. I like the fact that they could fight over me and kill for me, and I could just move on to the next dude after I finish using and abusing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. Let's see what this one's saying.
For men to be successful, and it's easier to be beautiful than it is to be successful.
Why do you feel that way?
Because you can buy beauty these days.
Every man I have ever met in my life has had a shred of depression, thinking that they're not good enough, that they have to.
Also, too, I want to say, like what she said, you could buy beauty, and also women have this entitlement of men pursuing them for money and stuff like that. That says that women only value relationship based on their income status, which put them on a money for hire situation, right? So it's been pushed. This whole agenda been pushed. This whole, let me see. I don't know if you guys can see, the manipulated man. You know what I'm saying? This is see. Turned upside down. Okay. Anyway, the manipulated man, right? My phone is upside down. And women generally we have gone so far from genuine, like I said, organic desires for a woman to see a man for who he is, but not just by his features. I'm not saying features wasn't somewhat of a thing, but that was just something that comes with it. It was the focus. It's the same thing for a man seeking out a woman. Yes, she might be pretty, good looking, but I have more than one. You know what I'm saying? Or the woman I have is good to me. I don't have to. The looks wasn't the how should I say, the main focus goal of the situation. But for today, when it comes to any versus side, the man seeks out the prettiest woman. Men still don't pick women on some shallow type thing. We kind of, we want pretty chicks, but I'll settle for a 4. I'll settle for a 5. You know what I'm saying? But for women though, it's all there's like almost no exception. No, almost there is almost no exception. They want what they want, and they don't want to change it, which leaves a lot of men behind. And that goes into say a man with confidence, can get somewhere, but he doesn't get along. He doesn't get along. He don't get far. He don't get the long term goal. he would get the short-term girl because she really want the pretty guy, right? So that's the thing. That's the only thing I would say about that issue right there.
Be, the best and provide. So many women that I've met, they want to be pretty and they want to find a man that's successful. Men grow up and that's their dream, is to be successful.
Are men typically born with the muscles, money, and status that attract most women?
No, absolutely not. Some get muscular and make a lot of money just so they can get women.
But
Why
I have
don't
to-
more women use their intellect and personality to attract men?
I think because they automatically assume that beauty will attract them, and that's all that they need.
Because when you first meet somebody, you have to make a first impression very quickly, and it's hard to display intellect and personality just right off the bat. So it's like, again, someone out in the wild, it's the wild animals, they just go for what
They're attracted to is what's behind.
I think it's harder. Hold on, let me think about that. Is it harder to grow muscles or harder to not eat? Is that the question?
Is it harder to lose weight or gain height?
I mean, it's impossible to gain height after a certain age unless you go to a crazy surgery, which I don't know if those are successful.
So are beauty standards harder for young men or for young women?
I'd say it's about a 50-50. It depends on the man and how hard he's trying, and it also depends on the woman and how hard she's trying. Women can get surgeries and stuff like that, and men are doing other things that might just be as hard as surgeries.
Right now in this era, in this day and age, it's definitely the BBL, it's definitely the big, luxurious women, the very curvy, but I see it like fading out. Like a lot of people like the natural.
And it's not fading now. It's not gonna fade out. It's gonna always be a thing. It's too far gone now. All women are too far gone. The nurturing concept of women being taking advantage of men have been gone too far. And not only that, like, and the reason I'm saying is because men are now using their assets as the highest bidder just to pursue a woman. Once ago it was like conversations. It was like if the man have a house or some land or a car. You know what I mean? But it was more like for security, long term reason, right? For today now, those reasons are not about long term reasons. Today now it's more about fashion and entertainment and just the rush of being in a nice situation or the convenience of a nice situation. But there's no long term, right, for women to have the desires towards men. It's more about what the man have and what he can provide. You know what I'm saying? And they're using all these attractive things to suck and lower these men in for them to feel as if like, they have some relevance or whatever, but they don't. 'Cause those things men don't really push for those type of things. Women just do it on their own. Well, okay, so what it is this. A woman would see another female with a nice curvy body, nice little plump butt or whatever, not knowing that. I mean, some women are blessed, some women are blessed, but most of them have to work to get that. They have to do exercise, do what they got to do. Some of the women, they don't have the ability to do that same work, and then again, they ain't born with the gift. So they're gonna do and get these plastic surgeries or whatever. But yet now, once they do the plastic surgery, they feel like they have the same equality choices as that female who is naturally built like that, or the female who actually had to go and work out like that. And I think that's a little bit unfair. Women who have to do surgery just to look like a natural shaped frame of woman, or a woman who actually did the exercise to get the frame, I think those women should be, you know, they should have less desirable. They should be less desirable to anybody. They shouldn't have the same equality standards to a woman who is naturally like that, or have to work or to get that type of body. You know what I'm saying? I really think it's a disservice to women who work hard and the ones who actually born with it, versus the ones who do surgery to get it. And then they criticize the men for even not wanting that, or turning out, making comments about it, shaming the situation, you know what I mean? So I think it's a little bit unfair. It shouldn't be like that.
Will always be a thing. With our women, we're born beautiful, we're born with what we have, and that will always be a thing forever.
When first meeting guys, who would you find more attractive? The man who clearly has more of an abundant sex life, or the man who hasn't gotten laid in a long time?
I think that right off the bat, women are probably going to go for the more promiscuous guy because he just has that kavorka.
Which one is more likely to cheat?
Definitely the more promiscuous men.
So why do women complain about men being cheaters when women typically date men who are more likely to cheat?
I think that a lot of women want to be the girl that changes him and makes him faithful.
Might be the guy that hasn't got.
All right. So with this, I mean, like I said, she's very honest and truthful. So I can't say nothing about I can't really push back on her response. But what I will say is this: cheating. I mean, it's gonna always be cheating, right? But in the natural state of time before this, Christianity and stuff came and change up the dynamic of relationships in terms of having one wife. It was cheating was less of a thing, versus what it is today. You know what I mean? Because now men are now forced into being monogamous because monogamous is a woman thing, polygamous is a man thing. Now women and men are now forced into monogamous. The cheating, the term, the word cheating have been, hyperly exposed, right? As she said, if you want, for women to want, they want a guy you know, who's experienced, right? Because a woman don't need to be experienced in bed. She don't, right? She's supposed to adapt to the man that she's with, and they're supposed to go from there, right? But women tend to seek out the guy who already had experience, meaning that, because, as I say, it's kind of harder for a woman to be sexually satisfied and all that good stuff. So a man with experience, he will know what to do, and he wouldn't be afraid or ashamed to do certain things. So that makes a lot of sense, right? I understand that part because we are the ones seeking out the woman. We're the one pursuing the woman, so we should be able. And the woman, a natural peer bonding is to basically adapt to the man, right? She adapts to the man, so whatever he likes or whatever he does, that's what she adapts to, right? But when the woman have, multiple partners, those adaptation, or so she know find a guy she want to be with, even though it might be fun to have a woman that experience ways of satisfying, it's almost like undesirable to some degree because it's like she might do it good, but it don't feel good. You know what I mean? Because it's like she got it from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that that men favor in a woman when it comes to being a woman with a offering for himself. He want to be the only one. Going into the whole a woman having a man with multiple bodies, like I said, it's an experience because he have more skill. He know what to do. He know to maneuver. He know to make and then she could use that could now make her even more desirable towards him based on this experience. That's just a normal way or a natural way of how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because women are more timid, as I say, so they kind of like, once they find a guy though, they can express themselves and open up more to the guy that she's with. But overall, it's always better for the guy to lead the woman into. It's almost like the men have to lead the woman into everything. You know what I'm saying? Now, and when it's the opposite, the woman don't tend to. It's almost like she have like a a wandering mind. You know what I mean? And then the memories of what was better was gonna always be like a haunting to her. That's how I view it. I might be off, I might be wrong, but that's how I view
Late in a long time too. If he gets a little bit of attention, they start going crazy.
Well, the men that don't get coochie, will go for any coochie. So I would say the ones that don't get coochie.
Why do women often
it. Disagree with that. Men who don't get coochie don't just go for any coochie. If they do find a female, they will stick to that coochie because they can't get no coochie. And they're not gonna cheat. They're not gonna desire anybody else. They're only gonna. And then again, women feel as if when a guy meet a female, like when a man seek a coochie, a win is a win. It's not the same. So he could go for any type of female. It's a win is a win. Now the only sad thing to that is the woman. Is she a good woman? Is she mentally stern to be in a relationship? Right? You know what I mean? Is she from the streets? You know what I mean? That's the only issue about that. When it comes to the whole, coochie conversation. But on the men's side, men can have multiple females. It's not going to really affect them that much. I'm not saying some men don't get displaced when it comes to having so many different females. Sometimes they just can't reverse back to just being with one woman or whatever the case is. But in most cases, in majority of the cases, a man he could just go cold turkey and just like, you know what, I'm good. I'm ready for, to settle down or whatever the case is. And then again, like I said, in a polygamous mindset, that's, you should always have a woman should always have the open mind that the man could want more. So, with that said.
complain about loyalty when they're more likely to choose men who have more options to cheat?
I think that girls want what other girls want.
Yeah.
Would men prefer good sex with an experienced woman or bad sex with an inexperienced woman?
They definitely prefer the good sex with an experienced woman.
I've met guys that love to have sex with girls that don't know very much so they can take complete control. I think it just depends on certain men. Some men love dumb women and just taking control.
Oh, that's not fair. Women who don't have sexual experience is not dumb. And it's not, I mean, it might be a little boring, you know what I mean? But that's the man's job to, advance her to be better, for herself and for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that she's boring or anything like that. It's just that the characteristic point of it is that she's minds or they are minds, and they've been nurtured, they've been pain bonding with me, and based on them being pain bonding with me, they adapt to the things that I like, and I find things that they like, and they find things that I like that they like, and they come up with their own way of things that they like versus what I like. So, like I said, man, the modern day type female, the mindset of modern day women, they're so off, they're so one-sided, they're so selfish. They don't think on the point of like how men operate, our natural state of mind, how we function, and how we view things in life. It's always more about their satisfactory versus the man's satisfactory. And it's really, 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 really unfair.
The bedroom. Some guys love girls taking over.
So what's the difference between being experienced versus being ran through?
Oh, I don't think there is a difference.
Experience, you know what you're doing, ran through, you're just taking it. You're just taking it.
You could have one long partner and you can be experienced, or you can just be slinging that thing around.
If a woman says she wants to take things slow, does that mean that she's not all that attracted to the guy?
No, I think that means she's more attracted to the guy.
So why are women...
But to respond with the whole, the ran through conversation, we said women are just being ran through, or men being ran through. Men don't be ran through. Men make ran throughs, right? So Women, like I said, a man could have multiple sex with multiple women. It doesn't affect him that much. Other than the fact that he might just get used to or addicted, if you want to use that word, to just being with different women. But the ratio of that is very low. For women, it's very high. For her to even be compatible with any guy after she'd have multiple partners, because the woman body attached to the men that she's dating, it peer bonds with, especially from the first two, three guys. It peer bonds with those guys. And each one of those guys have a different size, different personality, different way of, experiencing life. So once those guys have passed on, she's now at the 10th guy. I know she want to settle down, but the 10th guy, which is not almost always the guy that she not, or desire not to be with, it was just the guy that she settled for, doesn't satisfy her needs, or satisfy her, the sexual needs. The guy she's with, he's just happy that he got a girl because he's not getting any girl. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that being with a guy who have options, or he have a status, and he met a girl that's been ran through. He's not gaining nothing from her. You know what I'm saying? She might just have some skills of doing a lot of things because she's been passed around, but this sexual satisfaction, the feeling of like I gotta go home to this, and feeling how we feel, the nice and warm on the inside. No, he's not gonna feel that. That's used meat, right? She not adapted to his. You know what I'm saying? And then again, like I say, if he's smaller or this size different or whatever, she's gonna always seek out for something that fits those emotional feelings. You know what I'm saying? At some point, she gonna go back to one of the guys that gave her that good da 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 da, or made her do da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that part, when it comes to size and when it comes to the desire of a woman being sexually satisfied with, nah, women who have multiple partners does not work. The ratio that is very low, and even though it might work, she's struggling, like literally, because that's if the guy is not satisfying her. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's not all about money. It's also about the satisfaction, right? Yeah.
More likely to make a man wait for sex if she really likes him.
I think because they don't want to be used for their body in the relationship, and if they don't have sex with them, then that kind of means that they're wanting something more than just their body.
Yeah. Also, so she said in terms of women making men wait for sex after they done been ran through. That's unfair, bro. That's very fair. And women want to wait till they find somebody because they're trying to give themselves time to do that snapback. It doesn't really snap back. Let's be clear, people. It does not snap back. There's no such thing as snapback, right? Snapback is for younger women. Right? Snapback is for women who have one man. Snapback is for women who don't really be out there like that, right? But if you like I said, if you're running over 2 to 3, if you're over like at least 3 men, right? That's not, and you like 25, you know what I'm saying? That's okay. But if you're over like 10, 15, 30, and you're 25, nah, that's not, like, ain't the same. It's not the same. You're gonna always be seeking for bigger and better, or the last comforting position that you like, that's satisfying for you. It's the snapback is like a rubber, man. It stretches out. This is why they have to do muscle workout so they can manually use it. Cause that's what the muscle workout do. It doesn't snap anything. You just have the capability to control your muscles to make it feel a certain type of way. But that's just the muscle, and you mostly feel that on the opening area. What happens when you're inside? You know what I'm saying? Your walls already damaged, right? Your depth already done depth out. You know what I'm saying? And if the person who you decide to settle with doesn't reach that depth. He only hit a certain part of it. You're gonna always have the desire for that pain that once ago you felt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they say it's not fair for women to have multiple partners. And then the choices of women holding, saving themselves or making the man wait. She's doing that because she done been doing a bunch of ranch. She just been ranching a whole lot of time, and she's trying to preserve that, that miracle down there. So when the guy finally hit it, it's not gonna feel undesirable. Because the thing is this: when a woman has sex consistently, repeatedly, over and over and over, especially with, even let's say with the same size guy, at some point it's gonna almost feel like it's nothing because her walls is not really contracting enough, her opening is not contracting enough, and it depends on how much muscle raping he got. He gonna just get wider, and as he get older, he also get looser as well, right? And if that depends on how often she use it as well, right? But if the guy who she made wait finally get it, the first night might be all right. Maybe the second round might be all right. By the third, fourth, fifth round, she already done loosened that tight, that satisfaction level of patient. Be waiting to the point that I was like, okay, I'm already, been a while. I don't, it's satisfying for this. Now, yeah, I'm the thing is already, the band already done loose again. Now she's thinking like, okay, it was good for the first two times, but not anymore. That's because her shit is beaten down. Her guts, her inside is being washed out. You know what I'm saying? So, but when women do that, it's not fair. It's not fair that you make a guy wait for 2-3 months and then again she might still be smashing the homies while this dude is waiting, and that's the unfair deal. No man should. If a woman is out here doing her thing, it's not fair that you're gonna make another guy wait, especially if this guy's a good dude or he doesn't have the same sexual experience as you do. It's not fair you should make this man wait because he have more. Not only he have a higher value in terms of his assets or whatever, he also have a higher value of his demeanor, of himself. You know what I'm saying? He's not all there running around. He's serious about his thing. So yes, women should not do that. It's unfair.
But what if the man thinks that he's the special one that she'll break rules for?
I don't know.
I feel like it also depends on the partner. Slower is sometimes better, but sometimes things just naturally happen.
If a woman says she wants to take things slow, does that mean she's not all that attracted to the guy?
Yes. Yes. Definitely agree with that.
Back in my finessing days, I would use that as an excuse to get some money.
I like that one white girl. She's so honest, and she's being real. The thing is, I hope a lot of people watching this, and especially men, and seeing how women is like they're so like uncaring to what they do to men. They're so uncaring. They're so like shut out from like the destruction that they put men in or the heartbreak that they put men in. That they use men to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? But respect to her honesty though.
Is love a choice?
Sometimes.
I think we're born with love and we have it, but we choose who we love.
I wouldn't say love's a choice. I would say, that's a hard one.
Is attraction a choice?
Attraction's not a choice. You can't choose what you're attracted to or who you're attracted to. It's what catches your eye.
Attraction's not a choice, but if you act on it, that is.
What do you find most attractive in a man, and how has that changed throughout your life?
I love a very, very masculine, old school man.
What I currently find most attractive in a man is stability and to bring out my soft side as a woman. And that has definitely changed. I used to be attracted to cockiness and being kind of a little arrogant. I liked someone who knew they were the shit. But I think now I'm more so attracted to a man who just knows that he's ready to love a woman and make me feel special.
Are you the same person you were 5 years ago?
Definitely not. I grow every single day. I'm not the same person as I was yesterday.
So does it make sense to risk being in a long-term commitment when people's values can change so drastically?
Yes, because if you really love that person, you'll grow with them and then learn communication, and what you don't agree with, you guys can work together. If not, then you know that person's not for you anymore.
Mm, I agree and I disagree on that point. People should grow with each other. Yes, everybody is not fully aligned, and I would say some people are just have issues or weak in themselves to control their emotions, because that's really all it is. It's emotions, your emotions. The emotions is what invoke you to move and operate the way you do as a human being. If people can, anybody can be together. It doesn't really matter. But long as you can manage your emotions and be able to articulate yourself as well as compromise, we all would be fine. Yes, some people. The problem is that some people can't do it. So, and then that's where we say your personality comes from, because there's certain things, there's certain emotions you just can't let go. There's certain eager mentality that some people just can't let go. So that shapes them for who they are. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, my whole motto is all of us are the same. Whether based all females are the same, all males are the same. We just do different things at different times and have different features, different faces. But we all have the same emotions, the same behaviors, the same thing. Some of us have better skills than the others. Some of us could do some things better than the other. But it doesn't mean that in a human perspective, the general scope to this, we all have the same emotions. We just operate on those emotions in different ways. That's what makes us the same. And if a pretty woman was to be with a guy that's, less auristic in himself versus a guy who is more upstanding and more brave and all that stuff, it's an emotional thing. That's what it is, right? But imagine this guy was to learn to become more, upstanding and have that strong aura as the same as the other guy. What would happen is she would have to choose. The best man would have to go. She have to fall for the guy that's not based on his aura, but based on how he treats her in other emotional ways, right? So that's what I would say about that.
I think you love a person for their insecurities. And I think that if you love somebody, that you're willing to grow with them.
I think that there's somebody who's perfect for you at every stage of your life, and you just have to accept that that person might not be perfect for you during your entire life.
Are the things that originally attracted you to each other the same things that kept you guys together?
No. Sometimes things can definitely change. Sometimes the things that you fell in love with can start to make you hate them.
What's more attractive to you? Somebody who's down to earth and doesn't take themselves too seriously, or somebody who walks around and thinks they're all that?
Down to earth, absolutely.
Someone who thinks they're all that.
Why?
I mean, to me, I think they both answer. Okay. Sometimes women say they want a down to earth guy, but then there's obstacles that come with it, right? So they gotta be careful when they say stuff like that, because if you say you want a down to earth guy, and a guy's like a Ford, he don't have a lot of money, but he's very down to earth, which means he sees life in a balance, right? He don't try to overextend his comfort zone in the world. He accepts things for what it is, right? And he just pushed through it and try to survive, right? She met a guy like that, she would, and he's not like I said, he's a 4 or 3, right? And he don't have a lot of money, but he's down to earth. She's not gonna be like, well, you're down to a guy. It's not about your money. I make money. I could take care of myself. Matter of fact, I can also help take care of you. You know what I mean? She's not gonna say that. She's not gonna do that at all. And just to be clear, I want to say this: because a woman have money and she could take care of a man, it does not make her a masculine woman, and she don't have to generally push him around, or she feel like she makes the most money, so she order him around. He's still the man. Her money doesn't change. Her money doesn't disown his ability as a man. It just don't. Right? I don't know why some men feel that way. I don't know why some men think that. You know, I don't know why we put in the mindset of like a woman having money and taking care of a man is emasculating, unless she treats him that way. The way she treats him have nothing to do with the money. Well, in today's time, they use the money to exhort that type of behavior. But I'm saying the money is not supposed to be the go-to for that. Because a man is a man. Men are not made. Men are not masculine because of money. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's keep going.
Wealthy men think they're all that. Wait, that was bad.
Bad. You already said it.
So why do so many people walk around acting like they're all that when it's unattractive?
I've always
Yeah, one more thing too. I want to say, man, let women be themselves. Let all these women today be themselves. Let them speak their truth. Don't judge them. Don't go against them. I mean, of course, they're gonna have to learn to take shame and criticism, but they have to stand on their ground. Like she was speaking on, her taking advantage of men and stuff like that. Fine. They'll be like, yo, that's what you like. You know what I mean? But do you think it's right? Not really, but that's what I like to do. Well, hey, that's you. That's your choice. You know what I'm saying? That's your way of looking at life. Because the reason why I'm saying it like that is this: when people, there's rules and laws for everything. We could enforce those rules, or we could ignore them, right? If we're gonna ignore them, you cannot. Like, some rules you just can't ignore, of course. But if you're gonna know the naturalistic rules, cause that's what we basically feel. We are failing that as the relationship natural order of life, right? If we are failing that natural relationship, the basic structure of a natural relationship, commitment, order of relationships, let them explore and mess their own life up. The problem is, as men, when we come across these women, we have to based on what they say to you, that's how you treat them. Don't go in there thinking that she's gonna be a different person, or she only likes you, or don't do none of that, because she already made her choice. She already know she's taking advantage. She already know she don't have to go that route. She already know what she's not supposed to do, but she chooses to do it anyway. Let them do what they want to do. Let them experience their failures and share and don't come back and try to protect them in the process of that. Let them know this is disappointing and this is the result that you're gonna get. Do not hyper do not hype the behavior when women act this way. But once they do say it, they'll be like, dig it. I see what you're saying. I mean, it's your choice. If that's what you want to do, if this is your moment in time in your life where this is what you want to do, just leave them alone. Just let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And now, hopefully, the next guy that come across her, she might not be in that sense of mind, because she might realize, like, damn, I messed up. Or treat her how she want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Don't give her everything she want. Don't just do what have your fun, and just like how she's having fun. You know what I mean? Don't go in with a commitment. Don't go with no logic. I mean, no loyalty towards her or anything like that. Just go in with the conception of, well, we're both having fun, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
wondered that myself. I think about that all the time.
I think because as a society standard, that's what they want to see, like walking around. I think it makes them seem insecure if they walk around and they aren't confident.
I think that they're trying to create an air of exclusivity and that they're hard to get because humans are just drawn to something that's rare.
Who's more guilty of that behavior, men or women?
That's hard. Ooh, we're both horrible at that. It's like, who gets away with it more? That's the real question. Who gets away with it more?
Women.
Who does get away with it more?
Probably women.
Why?
They just, I don't know, but they just do. We get away with a lot of shit. We get away with a lot.
It depends on the industry and the world that you're moving in. I would say in my experience, I see a lot of men pretending like they're all that. Girls tend to be a little bit more humble, but it's also dependent on the day and age we live in.
What's the difference between the stereotypical nice guy and the stereotypical bad boy?
Stereotypical nice guy, you can walk all over them. Stereotypical bad boy, they're probably gonna treat you like shit.
I would say, I don't know, one loves to go hang out with his mommy and the other one loves to be in the streets.
Are women more attracted to nice guys or bad boys?
I would say nice guys finish last. So that's my answer.
So why should men care about what women want?
Because women make the world go round.
Nice guys don't know how to seize opportunities. So if they're too timid or they don't come across as confident enough, they're going to miss just grabbing that attention of the girl that they really want because they're not confident in their ability to make her happy.
What do women find attractive about a bad boy?
I feel like a lot of women like to be treated like shit, but they don't realize it. They're just stuck in a toxic cycle.
That is very hard to explain, but it's...
So the first one, she's very honest. I like her answers. All of these females gonna say something different, but they all want the same thing, or they all dated a bad boy at some point. Now, what I will say, there's levels to the bad boy thing. Some of them just want the real rough, aggressive type dudes who just gonna like force themselves to. This is a little secret I'm gonna put out there. A lot of women like bad boys because of the fact that the men, how I should say it, the dudes don't really ask questions. You know, I don't want to use, it's not, I want to say the word force, but they kind of just put the women in positions where they do things that they don't want to do. Let me put it like that. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about bad boys. You know, it's like they don't give a shit how you feel or what you think or what you're gonna say. They're just gonna do it. And if you don't want to freaking do it, they're moving on, or you know what I'm saying? And women, if they like the guy or whatever the case is, she's gonna do what he likes because that's what he likes. You know what I'm saying? And that's another weird situation. That's a weird conversation to have because that could formulate into a lot of, you know what I mean? So we don't really, you know, that's a hard, women would not really say the main reason why they like bad boys, because bad boys comes with a lot of push situations. You know what I'm saying? You kind of push them to do things that they don't want to do or things that they feel uncomfortable with. And he's like, oh, so that's how you feel? We're gonna do this, you know what I'm saying? And in most cases, he don't even ask; he just do it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna end it here. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I think we're gonna do another one. Like I said, shout out to it's complicated. He does a good job of doing modern dating questions. I mean, he's really good at it. But all of these girls, though, they're like bad boys. And like I said, there's level to the bad boy thing. You know, you got the real rough ones, you got the mediocre ones, and you got the soft, easy ones, and then you got the little simpy dudes who just don't really have no backbone. But there's levels to it. With that said, peace. Oh, gotta get my camera in frame. With that said, peace, and see you guys on the next one.